Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have listened to nearly 2 hours of testimony and have been very patient, for which we owe you a debt of gratitude. One would like to say you can now relax, network, eat a good meal, and go home. Alas, your most important work is just beginning. You will soon be asked to retire, to review the evidence, and to consider your verdict. You will be asked, after due deliberation, to find the accused on each count either guilty or not guilty. Let's just go over the testimony and what it tells us. Marketing is clearly guilty of grave failures, a manifest failure to convince shareholders and their representatives in the boardroom of the value of marketing, and an equally manifest failure to have provided the skills marketers need for access to that top table. Of course, the defense will argue that guilt has not been demonstrated. They will argue strongly that marketing does create value, that it is particularly adept at creating value for customers, and that it provides the skills for marketers to create that customer value. Well, marketing does seem to care deeply about customers. It certainly says it does. And there is a lot of customer value about. But created, with deliberate intent, methodically, by the active agency of trained marketers, and only by trained marketers? I think not. Customer value has been created by human beings since the dawn of time, way before trained marketers, business schools, colleges, and the Internet. Way before 1915, when Ralph Starr Butler stuck the label marketing on an intuitive commercial activity conducted by millions of humans since we painted bison on the roofs of caves. Was Josiah Wedgwood a trained marketer? Was J.H. Kellogg? Was William Proctor? Was James Gamble? Despite this absence of professional marketing, a lot of customer value was created in the 18th and 19th century, and brands popping up all over the place. They still are. Was Steve Jobs a trained marketer? Is Larry, Sergey, Bill, Elon, or Jeff a trained marketer? No matter, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let's accept that marketing does methodically create value for customers. But it does nowhere near enough to convince business of the value of marketing to shareholders. It is charged with failure to convince business of the value it creates for customers and shareholders. Not either customers or shareholders, both. Let's look at the facts. Marketing is simply not sitting at the top table. Well, not at 95% of top tables in the FTSE 100. Not just missing from the FTSE top tables either. Our witnesses have not seen more than a handful of marketers in the boardroom. I have seen but a handful in my 50 years in the profession. How often have you seen a marketer sitting on the board of corporate business, or as trusted confidant at the side of an SME business owner? We've all heard, give the marketer a task, a project, get us on the social media, manage my customers, do some data mining, design a brochure, or do us a website, run a campaign, stage an event, set up a focus group. How about some research? But share central decisions on product, operations, costs, investments, manpower, budgeting, corporate strategy with a marketer? I think not. And in any case, as our first witness testified, marketing cannot and has not defined itself. Marketing has not agreed its nature and purpose. This isn't just an academic issue. This isn't medieval scholars squabbling over how many angels fit on the head of a pin. How, our witness asked, can marketing seek credibility in the boardroom? How can marketers claim to create value for shareholders, indeed for anyone, when we cannot agree ourselves what are marketing's objectives? We don't agree that shareholder value creation is indeed the objective, or an objective even. How can marketing convince the board that marketing is the prime motor of business, the driver of income, profitability and shareholder value, when we don't believe it ourselves? How can we convince business owners to put marketing in the driving seat when we cannot agree on the model or where the marketing car is going? Is marketing to deliver sales, generate income, build market share, make profits, improve products, please customers, create brand value? Is marketing's bounty only for customers? Is it for shareholders? Or is it for both? Marketing hasn't decided. Marketing doesn't know. Turning to skills provision, it is difficult, no, it is impossible for marketing to have provided the necessary skills to build shareholder value for the same reason marketing has failed to convince the board. Marketing can't decide what marketing is for, so marketing cannot know what the necessary marketing skills are for, it therefore cannot know what they are. Our witnesses concede that marketing education and training provides some measure of technical and tactical skills. But witnesses have further testified that so-called soft skill sets, those of financial literacy, advocacy, consensus building, communication, numeracy, team building, strategic planning, commercial understanding, shareholder relationships, etc., are absent from marketing's palette of skills provision. So there follows not only the inevitable crisis of competence that comes from definitional indecision, but a serious crisis of confidence. Lack of competence and lack of confidence, a bad recipe for boardroom recognition. And not just boardroom recognition. Things have got so bad that marketing cannot even inspire students to acquire the skills on offer, to take up a marketing career and stick with it. So bad that students and graduates don't see a marketing career as a rewarding pathway to the top, not even a place to have fun on the way. So bad that certification of marketing competence is ignored in the boardroom. So bad that even experienced practitioners protest the lack of skills provision and don't see marketing as a route to the top. But then they are right, are they not? It isn't. Our witnesses expose marketing as ill-defined and, not surprisingly, misunderstood. Not respected in the boardroom, not valued by the shareholder, and constitutionally incapable of providing the needed skills. Their evidence finds marketing guilty of failing to convince the boardroom and shareholder. Their evidence finds marketing guilty of failing to provide marketers with what they need to climb the ladder to the boardroom. We do not prosecute out of malice. We do not prosecute out of a desire for vengeance. We do not prosecute to punish. We prosecute to establish the facts, to assess guilt, and to begin the process of rehabilitation. But for rehab to begin, there must be an awareness of guilt and acceptance of guilt. Send marketing back to redefine its nature and purpose. Send marketing back to setting its commercial objectives clearly, to accepting its obligation to shareholders, to providing those needed soft skills for young marketers. Send marketing back to convince the board members of the value of professional certification. Send marketing back to lead, to inspire students and graduates to carry marketing into every boardroom where effective marketing is so badly needed. Time for a marketing reset. Time for marketing to go into rehab. Time for marketing to come out refreshed and reinvigorated. We ask you, gentlemen and ladies of the jury, to start that process today. Marketing may or may not have done wonders for customers, but it is charged with failing shareholders in what marketing achieves and how marketing provides skills to achieve it. In that, it has failed. We ask you to find the accused guilty. The prosecution rests its case, and I ask my learned colleague to sum up for the defence.